Every winter the world gets a little thinner. The nights stretch, the light shrinks, and somewhere deep in the human soul an old fear stirs. What if the sun doesn't come back? Terry Pratchett understood this better than almost anyone, and that's why The Hogfather isn't just a funny holiday story. It's a mythic meditation on why we need belief, why we need stories, and why, as he put it, humans need fantasy to be human. Tonight we're going to unwrap the philosophy hidden in this winter tale and explore why the Hogfather belongs not just to Discworld, but to the oldest parts of our own Western soul. On the surface, the Hogfather is a jolly red figure in a sleigh pulled by wild boars. But in the depths of the Discworld lore, he's something much older, a remnant of the primal Midwinter God, a being who keeps the sun alive by receiving the gift of human belief at the darkest time of the year. Sound familiar? From Saturnalia to the Norse Yulefather, from the Celtic Cernunnos to the Sol Invictus of Rome, the Midwinter God is always a figure who holds the light in the dark. Pratchett didn't invent the Hogfather, he remembered him, because traditions like these weren't originally about presents or trees or feasts. They were about helping the sun rise again, and that's where the story deepens. In the Hogfather, Death himself steps in when the Hogfather goes missing. He dons the red robes, climbs into the sleigh, and tries very earnestly and very awkwardly to be jolly. And yet, it works. Not because Death understands the job, but because he understands its importance. The point is not the laugh, the point is the belief. As Death says in the novel, you must start out believing the little lies, because one day you may believe the big ones. The little lies are things like the Hogfather. The big ones are things like justice, mercy, duty, and hope. These aren't true in the scientific sense, but they are true because we choose them. Death knows that without imagination the universe becomes mechanical. Without wonder the human heart goes cold. And without belief the sun doesn't rise. Not mythically, not psychologically, and not spiritually. One of Pratchett's most powerful ideas is this. Humans are the storytelling ape. We built our world from metaphors and mythic patterns. Myths don't lie to us. Myths show us truth sideways. So we can swallow what is too large to face head on. And that's why the Hogfather resonates so deeply. It tells us that belief is not childish. It is the foundation of human consciousness. We don't rise each morning because the sun moves. We rise because we believe there is meaning in rising. Myth gives us the courage to keep lighting candles in a world that often feels dark. One of the greatest parts of the story is Susan, Death's granddaughter. Practical, sarcastic, unimpressed by nonsense. The closest thing the Discworld has to a modern skeptical human being. And yet she becomes the one who must protect belief. Susan doesn't believe because it's easy. She believes because someone has to light the candle when everyone else is tired. She becomes an archetype of adult faith. Not blind belief, but chosen meaning. A belief shaped by responsibility, Pratchett gives her the line that defines the entire story. You have to believe the sun will rise because you've seen the dawn before. This is the spirituality of the wise adult, not naive, not cynical, but deeply, quietly courageous. And this is why the Hogfather arrives in December. Not for Santa, not for gifts, but because winter is the moment when the veil thins, and humans need a story strong enough to get through the dark. The Hogfather is a ritual that keeps the sun alive in our hearts. It is the reminder that the light returns because people keep choosing to keep it burning. And in the darkest days of the year, this is not childless at all. It is sacred. Pratchett fills his winter world with strange little folkloric beings. The Veruca gnome, the oh god of hangovers, the tooth fairy, the elemental forces of human imagination. These aren't jokes. Well, they are jokes, but they are symbolic beings who represent the power of human psychic ecology. Pratchett is telling us, your imagination is populated. Treat its inhabitants with care. This is deeply aligned with the Western tantric vision you explore on the channel. That the idea that the psyche is a cosmos and mythic beings live within us, whether we name them or not. And if you are interested in this, please like and subscribe. It really helps us. The Hogfather story resonates because it restores something we've lost. A sense that ritual matters. Because imagination is a sacred faculty. The Western soul, the La, needs myth that is playful and wise, funny and profound, light-hearted but not shallow. The Hogfather is exactly that, a myth wrapped in humour that hides a sermon on ontology. We recognise it because it feels like home. So what does the Hogfather teach? Well, belief is a choice, not a trick. We choose meaning. We choose compassion. We choose to keep the light alive. That the universe is bigger when seen through wonder. Even death sees this. Stories are not luxuries. They are survival tools. Pratchett understood myth like an ancient. Midwinter requires gentleness with ourselves and others. The Hogfather comes not to dazzle us, but to remind us that darkness is temporary and that light is a communal effort. The sun rises because enough people choose to be human even when they're tired. And so, when this year winds to its close, I want to leave you with the message at the heart of the Hogfather. The sun will rise, not because it must, but because we keep telling the story of light. May your midwinter be warm, your imagination alive, and your belief in yourself, in others, and in the great mystery be the flame that sees you through the dark. And so happy Hogswatch, and may your world be a little brighter for the stories you choose to carry, and may you in your journey become the rising ape that meets the falling angel.